Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this edition of ACC Live. My name is Andrea Martinez with the Office of College Relations and Marketing at ACC, and today I'm joined by our guest, Renee Esparza. Renee is a Director of Transfer Services right here at ACC. Renee, how are you?
I'm doing well. I feel great after a long 3-day weekend. And I'm super excited to be here today to talk about transfer and start this new series, the Transfer Tuesday series.
Yes, I'm so excited for it too, Renee. But before we get into all things transfer, please help everyone viewing to get to know you a little bit better.
Okay, so I grew up in a town called Far, Texas. And so anytime I was growing up and people would say, "Where are you from?" I'd say from Far. And the question was always, "How far?" But it is a small town in the Rio Grande Valley, the Magic Valley, as we like to call it. And when I graduated from high school, I moved up to Austin. I went to UT Austin. And I took some classes here at ACC many, many, many years ago. And I've been in Austin ever since. So in 2005, I started at ACC. I actually started as a recruiter for the college. I would go into high schools and talk about how great ACC was and let students know that ACC was a wonderful place to start here and get there. And I've been here ever since. I worked as an academic advisor. I've been an adjunct faculty member. And I would say for the last maybe 10 years, I worked with transfer. So I worked in an office that we had that was the Articulation and Transfer Resources Office. And about 5 years ago, the college established this department, which is the Transfer Services Department. And our focus is to help students that want to transfer get to where they want to go.
That is such a great story, Renee. Thank you so much for helping our viewers get to know you. And it's great to talk with a fellow alum. I'm also ACC alumni. So it's great to know that you yourself have reaped the benefits of attending ACC. So it's great to hear you talk to that from your personal experience.
And I'll add one more thing. So even more recently, I finished a certificate here at ACC because all of our classes are awesome. And I thought, hey, why not come back and learn more? So I learned a little bit about small business.
Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. It's great. Learning is a lifelong situation that we always are going to have something else and new to learn. So it's great to meet you and great to meet everyone who's just now joining us. So, as a reminder, we are going to be answering our top transfer questions that we receive. But, viewers, please feel free to add any questions you may have in the chat box and we will get to them as soon as we can. So, at this time, let's go ahead and just get into the top 5 questions about transfer services. So, Renee, please let us know, how popular is transfer?
So transfer is very popular. If you look at nationwide statistics, so if you look at all the students across the nation who start at a community college, about 80% of them begin at a community college because they want to transfer to a 4-year institution and earn a bachelor's degree. So for anybody watching this that is thinking, should I start at ACC? Yes, and you're not going to be the first person navigating this journey. It has been done before, and there are a lot of people to support you along the way. Here at ACC, about 60% of our incoming students say that they want to transfer, and we are here to help them do that. If you look at the state of Texas, one thing that I think is kind of mind-blowing is last year in 2020, over 76,000 students transferred from one institution to another. That is a huge number. And then something else that I think is really important to note is that 75% of the individuals in Texas who have earned a bachelor's degree took credits at a community college. I was one of those people by taking some classes at ACC. And then we have so many dual credit students, adult learners, students that come during the summers to take classes at ACC. So transfer is extremely popular. And I think we're a good place to help you with that step.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing those statistics. That is very, very interesting. All right. So let's move on to our second question. How does ACC help students achieve their transfer goals?
So I know that this Facebook Live is only 20 minutes, and I could talk about the benefits of ACC for like hours. So I'm going to focus on three different things that I think our college does really, really well. The first thing is we provide a really strong academic foundation for students that attend ACC. One of the things that we hear from universities is that ACC students who transfer keep a GPA that's either as high as or higher than students who started out at that institution. So I don't think anybody who comes to ACC should be worried that they're not learning what they need to learn here so that they can be successful once they do transfer. The other thing that we really like to highlight is our students are prepared, and we know that because of the bachelor's degree attainment of our students who've transferred. Last year or 2 years ago, ACC was recognized by the Higher Education Coordinating Board. I know this sounds really nerdy, like all these statistics I'm throwing out here, but 72% of the students who transferred out of ACC graduated with a bachelor's within 6 years. This was the highest in Texas that year. And we maintain a very high level of bachelor's degree attainment from our students. The next thing I would say is that we work to align our programs with the programs at our four-year partners. Okay, so if a student's coming to ACC and let's say they're studying history, our program is going to line up with the courses that you need to take at some of our high-rate transfer institutions like Texas State or UT. Our faculty work to make sure that students are learning what they need to learn and taking the courses that will not only transfer, but apply to the degree there. So you're not wasting any time by taking classes at ACC. And the third thing I think, I could shout this from the rooftop all the time, is we are flexible in our course offerings, which I think is really important for students right now. We know a lot of our students have families, have work responsibilities. Transportation across Austin is sometimes challenging. So we are flexible with our course modality and our course offerings. But also you can save a lot of money at ACC. Our tuition is the lowest in Central Texas, and you're going to pay a lot less for a course here that will transfer and apply to that four-year institution.
Awesome. Thank you, Renee. It's clear that ACC can help students achieve their transfer goals. And you talked about a few ways that ACC can help. But the third question we want you to answer is what resources are available to help students that want to transfer to a four-year institution?
We have a lot. And this is probably my favorite thing to talk about. I talked about academics and having a strong academic foundation. So I want to highlight some of our academic support services that I think are really awesome. I'm sure many people that know ACC and are on this call have heard of our accelerators, which is where students can go and utilize our computers. It's like a huge computer lab, a place to study on campus. We also have free tutoring through our learning labs, and we have academic coaches. And I really love to recommend our academic coaches to students. I remember from my experience in college, I'm probably going to share a little too much. I was a great high school student. I went to college and I struggled. It took me a while to find the best way for me to study, the best way for me to learn. But that's what our academic coaches do. They help students become more efficient learners. So I think those are some of the resources to help students academically. We have our wonderful academic advisors at every campus. I recommend every student go meet with your academic advisor to talk about your goals. And then, of course, there's our transfer services department. So this is where I work. What we do and what we aim to do is make sure that students can find their right fit destination, right? We know we have a lot of students who maybe have grown up in Austin and are thinking, hey, I'm going to go to UT or I want to go to Texas State. We want to make sure that you have the tools and resources to explore those institutions and make sure that's the right one for you. And we do that through one-on-one transfer support sessions with our transfer specialists. And these individuals can meet with students to talk about exploration, right? Where do I want to go? What's the right program for me? But then they're also available kind of at the end of their student's journey or the student's time at ACC. We can help them when they are applying to a four-year institution. We work with students on filling out the Apply Texas application, on writing a personal essay that's really going to help them stand out to that competitive institution, right? Why are you the right person that we should accept? And we help them answer any transfer questions that they have. We also offer workshops throughout the year, and we have things like, again, on essay writing. We have ones on building that holistic transfer application and learning all of the resources at ACC that can help. And then we do large events. So every fall, we have a transfer fair. And I'm hoping this year, now that COVID numbers are a little under control, that we'll be able to have another large transfer fair this fall. We do university tours. So we take students to university campuses so that they can explore and understand what the culture's like, get a feel for the campus, and see if it's really where they are going to thrive. And then we're doing some summer events. So one of the things I'm really excited about is our summer transfer boot camp. And so this is going to be a 2-day event this summer at our Highland campus. And it's going to be basically a very intense 2 days of learning everything you need to learn about transferring, right? What are the resources at ACC that can help? How do you figure out if the classes that you want to take are going to transfer and apply? And during this time, we plan to have a student transfer panel, so students can hear from other students who have accomplished their transfer goals, and a university panel so that students can hear directly from university admissions representatives and know what are they looking for in a strong applicant. And so we think this will be fun. I will also say we plan to have breakfast tacos and lunch for students. But I really hope anybody on here that's interested considers attending.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Renee. So many resources and support available to students who want to transfer. It's great to hear. So, along the same line, question number 4 is, what advice would you give to a student who wants to transfer?
So the number one piece of advice, you'll hear me say this all the time, is start early. Start early in planning your transfer. There are so many times that I'm on campus and I'll run into a student and I'll say, hey, are you planning to transfer? And their response will be, they'll look at me and be like, I don't want to talk to her. So they'll say, yeah, but not yet. And that's fine, right? We're not expecting you to transfer tomorrow, but your planning should start as early as you know that is your goal. The reason for that is we want to make sure that you have all of the support, and that you're selecting the right classes every semester so that your transfer is smooth and seamless and easy. It never fails that we have students every year who are like, hey, I'm going to transfer, and the application deadline for the school they're interested in has already passed, right? With good planning, this can be a pretty stress-free situation. I'm not going to lie and say it's like super easy, but it can be low stress if you plan well. So we recommend always exploring early. We recommend talking with your academic advisor about your goals. And we just recommend, like, in your first semester here, start having those conversations and come see us in the transfer services department so that you can get started on the right foot.
Great. Thank you so much for that awesome piece of advice for students who want to transfer. Now, question number 5 is, where can students go to get more information on transfer services?
So the number one hub and place that students can go is our website. So our website is austincc.edu/transfer. I'm wearing our /transfer shirt that I love wearing around campus. That website is the hub for all the information that a student might need to find. If you are on campus, our team goes to every campus. So if you need to meet with someone, we will meet you at the campus that works best for you, or we will meet with you virtually. But one of the really exciting things to me is that last year, we opened our very first official Career and Transfer Center. This is a space at the Highland campus in building 4000. It's right at the bottom of the escalator. So if you take the escalator down, you'll see us right there. But this is a place where you can meet with one of our transfer specialists by appointment. We plan to have universities come in to meet with students and do advising. And we will have events here like our application workshops and essay writing workshops. So it's a great place to be. But again, our website is the best place to find us and to find the information you need.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So, viewers, you heard it here first. Go to the Transfer Services website, or you can visit the Career and Transfer Center at ACC Highland. Thank you, Renee, for answering the question. So let's review our chat box to see if there's any questions from our viewers. And we will be happy to have Renee answer it for you. Okay, we do have a question here. It says, is my ACC cumulative GPA going to be the same as University of Houston, and how they calculate cumulative GPA in the admission process?
That is a great question. Off the top of my head, I believe, I'm not going to answer that correctly here, so I don't want to say the wrong information. But every university is going to calculate your GPA that they review for admissions differently. So here at ACC, we do replace grades, and the GPA on your ACC transcript is going to reflect that. Some four-year institutions will look at every grade attempt and average those out together. Okay, so if at ACC you didn't do very well the first time you took history and you failed, and then the next semester you saw an academic coach, you got your stuff together, you knew how to study, and you got an A. ACC only uses the A. Some other schools will average both of those together. As far as the University of Houston goes, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know they are going to share my email address. And if you email me, I will look that up for you and get you the answer.
Great, thank you. And we will pop Renee's email in the chat box so you can connect. Awesome, great question. Okay, I think we have time for one more question. Renee, can you please share with us what are some of the top universities that ACC students transfer to?
So one of the things that I'm most excited about, and I think ACC should be very proud, is that our river bats are represented across the nation in pretty much every state. Our students transfer everywhere, but the majority of our students do stay within the area. Texas State University down in San Marcos is where we send most of our students. We send a good number of students to UT Austin, to St. Edwards, to Texas A&M, to Texas Tech, to the University of Houston. Our students really go everywhere. So I don't think there's any school that a student should think is out of their reach or impossible. I will tell you, this last semester, I heard from a student who got into UConn. I heard from another student who's transferring to the University of Wyoming. So really, our students will go anywhere.
Absolutely. You can start here and get there.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Anywhere.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you everyone for being here today. It was great chatting with you. Renee, thank you so much for joining us in this first Transfer Tuesday session. And viewers, or if you're watching this at a later time, please join us again next month for another Transfer Tuesday conversation right here on the ACC District Facebook. And again, as Renee mentioned, you can stay in touch by emailing her or also visiting the Transfer Services website at austincc.edu/transfer. So again, thank you so much for being here, and we hope everyone has a great rest of your afternoon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.